Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Sunday Night Cop. I'm Gav. This is Emmet. This is Dylan. And Liverpool have had the audacity to go and win a game of fucking football. So this Sunday will be slightly different from all the other fucking Sundays it feels like we've been doing. Somebody in the chat says there, Gav doesn't know how to turn on this show because after a win, yeah, it's getting to that stage, to be fair. Liverpool went and beat West Ham of London, in London, by 2 goals to 0 this afternoon. It was fantastic to watch and see the Reds winning. If you haven't watched our post-match show, it is on YouTube. It's on all your podcast apps. It is Kev, it is Chris, it is Ashley. And fair play to them because they've had to do an awful lot of reactions in the last one that are just fucking desperate. But if you haven't, go and watch that. Go and listen to it. Like, subscribe, comment, all that messing. Tonight, we don't go through every single facet of the game, but we do talk about the main points, I suppose. And the main point is that we won a game. Emma, forget Liverpool for a minute. Forget all them pricks for a minute. How are you feeling after winning a game of football, Emma? How are you and yourself?
Yeah, fantastic. I don't think I'm not going to say that we weren't playing awful. I think we were creating chances to win games, but we just weren't taking them. No, not awful. But
I was there on Wednesday, Emma. We were fucking abysmal.
Yeah, okay. We've been abysmal, but we were creating chances, and I don't know. There just seemed to be a little bit more control about the game today.
No. I don't want to know about the game. I want to know about how are you after the.
Oh, how I feel?
Yeah,
fantastic. I woke up this morning with the flu and just sat on the couch all day watching football.
Now, funny you say that. I'm going to go off tangents, right? Because my wife and kids are watching I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, right? Which in turn means that they're watching standard TV with ads, right? And one of the great ads I seen in last week was for the flu called Uniflu. Do you know the 1-2 Uniflu ad? Which I feel like I haven't seen in about 25 years. It's still going.
I don't watch ads. I record.
Do you not know 1-2 Uniflu? Come on.
No, I know the ad you're talking about, but I've not seen it recently. Yeah.
So just letting you know, if you have the flu, right, Uniflu is 2 tablets that you take. One is for your symptoms and one is packed with vitamin C.
I don't know what the ones I'm taking is I think you take, maybe it is Uniflu. One at night time, one in the daytime.
No, that's Benylin day and night you're taking there.
I think it's a blue tablet you take when you're going to bed.
And you're up all night. And then you can't sleep in the morning.
Oh, weird. I think Uniflu, the blue one is for when you're going to bed.
There's no blue one in Uniflu. It's a white and a yellow.
So this is the one I'm taking.
Yeah, the one you're taking. Listen, that's not for the flu.
Have it in the middle of the room like a tripod all night.
Right. Anyway, you woke up, you had the flu, but you feel great. Is that what you're telling me?
After the win, I feel great. I was confident enough going in. I know everybody said West Ham have had a good run of it, but I think we normally always do well against West Ham. And I know we're going to get into it, but Jesus Christ, they were poisoned. So I'm not going to get too carried away with how we were today because I thought they were absolute dog shit, especially in the first half. But I did think that Nuno was trying to do an El Forest on us from last year, kind of rope-a-dope kind of a thing, and then just go at us. And they did go at us in the second half. I don't know how much that is them upping their game or us sitting back after getting a goal. But I was confident enough going into today.
And you feel great now?
Yeah, I'm all right.
The blue tablets, fantastic. Yeah. Dylan, we're going to get into the game in a bit, but it's just nice to win, isn't it? Like after the game, you just go, I literally just did do the fist pump. Fucking yes, after the game.
Yeah.
It was just nice to do that, wasn't it? You missed that.
Oh, knee slide across the sitting room, my son. Just
like you're an 8-year-old at a wedding.
yeah. We are back.
Yeah, we're back. We're only 9 points off the lead. Let's start talking about title challenges.
Oh yeah, get the fucking bus organised.
But I've already done the maths.
You've done the maths. Emmett's done the maths because he's has.
Cav's going to start doing. We only need to win another 23 games.
23 games. 23 more leagues. 23 more wins, and we be champions.
We're counting.
And that's just simple maths. But no, honestly, Dylan, it was. You know, we've gone through, like, we had the Man City game, then we come back, we have Forest, we have PSV, and it just feels like it's getting worse and worse. And, you know, we're talking during the week about, you know, is this team trying? What's it doing on the ball? The effort. What's it doing off the ball? Set pieces. All. But today just felt like we went and we won a game of football. Yeah, it wasn't completely smooth and everything else, but we went and we won a game of football we should have won.
Yeah, I don't think West Ham really posed any threats to us. It was a very, I think we've all been begging for it. It's comfortable 2 or 3-0 win. No threats on our goal. Everything a little bit comfortable. I think any threat we really had was our own doing. Probably the biggest one was Alisson Becker running into Joe Gomez. That gave me a
Yeah,
little bit more fear. But other than that, good win, good performance. I was happy.
yeah. Emma, like he had to make changes. Everybody felt he had to make changes, and Shawnee, who's not here this week, by the way, because he lives in another country and his missus due to have a baby. I feel like we're under contract to say that 2 people every week, so they know what the story is. And we won, and he's not here, so that breaks the voodoo or the hoodoo, doesn't it? The supposed hoodoo that people seem to think that we have. But Emma, a lot of us were calling for he has to change something here. If he keeps doing this same thing and the same monotonous fucking tippy tappy fucking standing still, passing it around stuff, he's just going to get worse and worse. But he does make some changes today. He makes a big one. Florian Wirtz comes back, and we were previewing the show the other night, and I was saying I'd play 4-4, and I'd throw Salah in behind Isak or Ekatike, and if not, I'd throw Wirtz in there. He makes that big change. He brings Joe Gomez in at right back. He puts a defender at right back. And other than that, it's like I think it's 2 big changes for different reasons. One, he's gone away from this. If I can get another, good footballer at right back, that'll kind of more pros than cons. He does that, and the Salah one, because Salah's just not in form, and teams are nearly pushing us to give the ball to Salah and then just smother him because we've no movement. There are 2 big changes to make, and he does it, and that's a plus for him.
Yeah, I know you're not the biggest fan. I know you're not the biggest fan of Gomez at right back. The reason I thought he wasn't playing Gomez at right back is that he's our only other recognised centre back, and in case anything happened to them, but he seems to have bitten the bullet and stuck him in there. And I have to say, I thought Gomez was excellent today, although he did have somebody in front of him. And this is not me digging Salah out because Salah's been given free reign. If you believe everything about when he was signing his contract, defending wasn't going to be his job, but he did have a Szoboszlai in front of him that was going to be giving him a dig out. But I think Gomez looked a hell of a lot more solid. I would have liked to see Robertson on the other side, but in fairness to Kerkez, I think Kerkez actually did well today.
Yeah.
Gakpo still doesn't want to seem to pass them for whatever reason. The Salah one is a big call, and you just said there that teams are forcing us to play the ball to them. I think when you've got a big name like that in the team, and I'm not suggesting that like he's a bully off the pitch or anything like that, and I always want the ball or anything. But normally when you have a match winner like as clutch as Salah, you're probably always thinking, let's get the ball to Salah, right? And that might be why we've maybe not seen other players settle, because he's the big name in the team. We've suddenly got more big names in the team. He was a standout last year. And there's no pressure to actually get the ball to him, which means that you are giving it to Wirtz. Again, I think Wirtz had an excellent game. And look, a breakout of the team may not do Salah any harm. Like, I know he has AFCON coming up, and somebody was saying that they're looking for him next week, but we're looking to hold off until after the Brighton game. But let's see how he reacts if he gets in against Sunderland on Wednesday. But I don't think it didn't do us any harm. I don't think he starts against Frankfurt either, and we do really, really well. I'm not suggesting that Salah's the problem, but when you are that focused on getting the ball just to one person, and that one person isn't at the height of his powers, well, then that could cause you problems. And I think that may be what we were guilty of. Partially teams forcing us to go out that direction, but also kind of within the team, people thinking we have to get the ball to Salah, we have to get the ball. When you remove that, then I think things run a little bit smoother. And I think that's probably what you saw today. I thought Wirtz probably had I think Wirtz had his best Premier League game for Liverpool today. I think Real Madrid, I think he was excellent. Probably pips this one. But it's just, I said it to you earlier on, I love and hate him in equal measure. I love him as a footballer, and I hate the fact that he makes it look so easy. Like it's just, It's unbelievable. I think when he's given time on the ball, and West Ham, I think, gave him an awful lot. Well, I won't say they gave him an awful lot of time on the ball, but he picked up those spaces that seemed to give him an awful lot of time on the ball.
Yeah,
And I think you really saw that today.
yeah. I'm going to go on to Wirtz in a bit more detail in a minute. Dylan, when it comes to the Gomez change, and Emmett's right, I'm not a fan of Joe Gomez at right back simply because when we were playing, I've no problem with Joe Gomez at right back today, and the simple reason is because he's a defender, and we're no right backs were playing him. My problem with Joe Gomez at right back is that when we had right backs, we used to play right back Joe Gomez there, right, and he was literally a centre half playing at right back. Right now, he's not playing any centre half football, but you have to when I'm looking at these situations, I weigh them up and I say to myself, if I have a right back, I want to play him there. I would have played Calvin Ramsey there today, right? Because he's a right back. But obviously, Slot doesn't see him as part of his plans in first team. That's okay. So you pick who is in your first team plan, and he's the defender. So he makes that big decision and just go and do your job. And people have said there in the chat, Szoboszlai helps him out, covers and stuff like that. The thing with Salah is, I don't want to go too hard on Salah. I think Salah's just an unbelievable footballer. But when I'm watching Liverpool,
I wasn't blaming Salah.
No, I'm not saying you were. I'm not saying
No. Somebody in the chat said I wasn't.
Oh, who said it in the chat? Who was giving out to you?
I don't know. It was somebody said, "Well, we blaming Salah when we conceded 11 goals with Van Dijk playing volleyball." I'm not blaming Salah. I'm just saying when you remove that kind of focal point out, it kind of maybe frees up people. I'm not saying he should start against Sunderland. I'm not blaming him for 1 second.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm fucking choking there.
Yeah, but that's because you jumped in all defensive and all. Relax. Don't be minding them. Stop bullying Emmet in the chat. But my thing on Salah is that he wants the ball all the time, right? But when Salah gets the ball, when you look at Salah at his best, right? Yeah, he's lost the yard of pace. There's no doubt about that. But there's movement around Salah. There's movement with intent around him. So people are running, dragging people out of position. Salah's just good at that burst of pace, go on his left or his right, and get past you or get, in the better positions to either assist, score, whatever it might be. But recently what's happened with Salah is he gets the ball, he's facing the guy up. He was ignoring the one bit of movement around him, which on Wednesday night, which was his fullback, right? He just wasn't interested in passing to him. And then when he was passing inside, it was to people that were static and not moving. So it's just a case of passing for the sake of passing. On the defensive side, Salah hasn't defended for Liverpool for 8 years. You know what I mean? You've never seen, you know what? Salah walks his bollocks off with his team. Not really. The very odd time, Dylan. But we make that decision to go a bit more robust today, a bit more workmanlike, and just say to ourselves, we're going to be solid here today. We're going to minimise issues with space for left backs to run into or whatever it might be. We're going to take away Curtis Jones maybe being a little bit off as a right back and put an actual defender in there. They're two huge decisions, but they're kind of obvious ones as well, aren't they?
Yeah, very obvious ones. It's the basic stuff we've been talking about for weeks, isn't it? Really, if you have a defender, put a defender there. There was an awful lot of love for Szoboszlai at right back after the Arsenal game, which I thought he was good in, but I don't think he's put a half decent 45 in at right full since then.
Yeah.
It's crystal clear the limitations that him and Curtis Jones have there at right full. Neither of them are right fulls. Not that Joe Gomez is perfect, but as you say, he's a defender. He knows how to get his body into positions to be a defender. He knows what to expect and when to expect it. And on the Salah point, I think in the summer we were all hoping that Salah would take two men and it'd leave the likes of an Isak and Ekitike and Isaac Szoboszlai with no man marking them. But the problem now is that Salah isn't able to be the one man that's marking them, so that everybody's marked and we're just losing the ball. I do think the loss of the yards pace for Salah is huge. It's probably jumping the gun a little bit, but I wouldn't be surprised if this was Salah's last year at Liverpool. And I don't think we see him again before AFCON. Well, not starting a game anyway.
All right, okay. It's a big show.
Yeah, RGB after you now.
Yeah, Arjun. The chat is.
Yeah, I'm not blaming him. I'm not blaming Salah either. Salah's been an outstanding player for us, but I just think if you're in a dogfight, every team does it. They make themselves hard to beat, and I think we're better with Szoboszlai playing out there and making life harder.
You see, Irish James there says, why are we blaming it all on Salah, for fuck's sake? We're not blaming it all on Salah. Will you calm down? We're not. Let me tell you, let me run you through it, right? Alisson's fucking made mistakes this season. Van Dijk definitely, Kanate definitely, Robertson, Kirk, name them all. What we're talking about is the changes he made today and why we think he might have made them changes. Right now, if you'd have made them changes and you went, well, Salah's just got 15 goals in the league this season, why are you making that change? We'd be going, why is he making that change? It's fucking ridiculous. We're not blaming it all on Salah. What we're asking is, right, why did he make the change? What was in his thinking? And that's what we think well, that's what I think it is. I think he wanted to be a bit more robust. I think he wanted to be a bit more, to be fair, I think if that game goes 1-1 or goes 1-0, or stays 0-0 for a longer, I think Salah comes onto the pitch. To be honest with you,
Definitely.
I think while it stays 1-0, we just want to keep that solidity and say, right, see where we are. And by the time Gomez score, or not Gomez assists, by the time Gakpo scores, I think they go, do you know what? It's grand. Leave him there. Give him the weekend off. A lot of people will make out like, oh, Salah's being dropped and he never got on the pitch, and someone definitely is doing a video somewhere where they're going, is this the end of fucking Salah? And, you know, massive falling out, and they'll be making all sorts of stuff up. But he picks this today to be just more solid and just more, because West Ham, and people were saying it during the week when we were previewing and other previews I've watched, where West Ham will try to get at you wide. You know, their strength is wide. You know, in Wan-Bissaka's been really good for them. Do you know what I mean? Paqueta drifts left. You have all this sort of stuff. So that's why I think they might have went that way with it. And yeah, look, Salah hasn't been on form. Loads of them haven't. But he goes with that. But let me talk centre halves a little bit, because Emma mentioned there Kirk. I thought Kirk has done really well. You know, he defends well, he covers well, he does everything you ask of him. To be fair, he just does it. Right? There's no. I don't think there's any standing moment in the game where I went, oh, for fuck's sake, Kirk is. And I hope to see him grow into it, because I felt a little bit sorry from this season. But the centre halves, Emma, today, you know, it's one of those where you don't want anything stupid to happen, and nothing stupid happens. They do their job. They win headers. They win duels, as they call them. They pass the ball well. They move it on. You know, they just do a centre half performance today with nothing, no mad ricks. There's no mad moments. They just do. And in fairness, Emmet, there's not an awful lot coming from West Ham, but they're the sort of games at times where Liverpool switch off and a fella just drifts into position and boom, you know, it's, oh fucking hell, what's Kanate doing again? But they done all right, the two of them.
Yeah, it's. I think it probably, Kanate probably felt a little bit more secure with a right back there, because when you had Szoboszlai there, or when you have Jones there, is their kind of first kind of instinct is to get forward. Now, no Gomez get forward today, but I think Kanate looked a hell of a lot more confident today, to the point where he was actually bursting forward with the ball, and probably not seen that in a while. He's playing diagonal balls across. It was like, now you can say it's because Gomez is there, or it's because of the news that broke earlier on in the week. But he looked to have more confidence compared to what he had in previous weeks. I think Virgil actually looked a little bit more confident as well. Again, don't want to kind of say they're fully back or anything, because you're right. I don't think West Ham offered an awful lot going forward, but they just seemed a little bit more assured in themselves. There wasn't any real kind of panic. I wasn't panicking when the ball was coming towards Kanate. In the last few games, like even in the last game, he takes an absolute swing at one and it goes underneath him, and PSV go through and get a goal. He just looked a little bit more assured. Maybe that was, he hadn't got that weight of the Real Madrid thing on his shoulders, and it's, well, if you think it's put to bed, and he's just a little bit more relaxed. I know everybody was saying that he had one eye in Madrid, but when there's all this talk going on in the background as well, it can kind of, that's what the reason why when people are subject to transfers, they take people out of the team, because their head isn't in it. And I just think we probably didn't have we didn't have the luxury of actually doing that with the lack of centre backs. But yeah, they just seemed unflappable today, for the first time in a long time.
It's small steps, probably, though, Emma, because like we can come on here and say, you know, oh, they look good. We're allowed to say that, right? They done their job. We're allowed to say that. But I don't think we're going to sit here and say to ourselves, do you know what? they're brilliant. They're
That's
back.
yeah.
You know, I think it was a good game for them to play in against West Ham. You know, because West Ham didn't really do the whole, you know, get at them on the ground or even get at them in the air. They seem to deal with a lot of stuff. I'm asking them a question. He just fucked off. Anyway, Dylan. What I'm saying is we can't just turn around and say, oh, they're back. But it's a nice game for them to play in. It's a nice stepping stone, isn't it? For there's a bit of confidence. You weren't backs to the wall. There was bits where you had to do, but it was a nice confidence builder, and hope they can build on it as a centre half partnership.
Yeah. I think we all hoped that might have started at PSV midweek. I think we looked at the opposition, thought maybe they're not up to much. Playing in the Eredivisie, give them a go. Didn't work out that way, but yeah, it's a lovely starting point. As you say, I don't think it's hallelujah, everything's resolved. I think there'll be absolutely points where you look and we're good for 2 or 3 games, and then all of a sudden, Konate, Van Dijk, Kerkez, Robbo, whoever's involved in the back four has a howler of a game, and they can't get out of their own way the way they've been for the last 6, 7, 8 weeks. But as you say, look, West Ham were shy today, like really, really shy. But you can only beat what's in front of you, and they went and done that as easy as they could.
Let's talk Florian Wirtz. Dylan, I'll stay with you because when I asked him at the last question, he just fucked off.
So, yeah, I told you what was going to be going on tonight.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just gonna play on it anyway because I'm
What
a
a
prick like
fucking
that. But Dylan, Florian Wirtz, right? Takes that knock. People were going on during the week saying, "Oh, he's going to be out till March" and all sorts of nonsense. But the one thing I'll say, I thought he had a really good game. First of all, but and to be fair, I wouldn't have minded seeing Salah in the team of Florian Wirtz, because Florian Wirtz for me demands that we move the ball quick, and he demands movement. Right?
Yeah.
He demands people to move into position so we can find them. He demands that we don't take 2 and 3 touches. It's like touch and go, touch and go, touch and go. And I think that's what Salah needs, to be fair. I think it slows down too much without Florian Wirtz in the team. Now, people, you know, early in the season, like, well, Wirtz isn't working. But I think, honestly, just on today, watching Wirtz, he has to be in the team. Because you can talk about, you know, how solid the team is or how fluid the team is or on the ball, off the ball, does he track? He was brilliant against Real Madrid. He done so much running against Real Madrid, playing off the left but drifting everywhere. But my big thing on him today was when he gets the ball, he's nearly demanding, you better make that fucking run, because I'm not here to play this fucking bullshit into your feet and get it back. Like I can wall pass off a fucking brick wall all day. I'm not doing it with you. That's what he demanded of that team today, I thought, just by being there. And I think it was a major plus.
Yeah, his movement is exceptional. Gav, me and you were both on a show earlier on in the season and said it's almost like he's moving a yard quicker than everybody around him, and lads just haven't caught up with him. I think you're starting to see people catch up with him. I'm with you. I would have loved to see Salah in that today at some point and see how he adapts to that pace and the one-touch football, the not slowing it down to try and beat your man, to put a ball into the box. There's very few aimless balls put into the box, which we've been really, really like seeing a lot of recently. He's such a good footballer, isn't he? Like there's it's undeniable how good this fella is. There's talks that this fella's a flop, and you're seeing mentions of him being sold in January for less than 100 million. Like, pull the other one, will you? You know what I mean? He's a fucking smashing player, and as soon as it clicks, and it will click, this fella's gonna rip it up in England. There's talk that he's put on 2.5 kg of lean muscle since he's arrived here in England. Like, he bounces off people when he first arrived. If he can start putting on a bit of size, he's just going to run through midfield. 11.5 kilometres he ran today in 70 minutes. I'm robbing that stat off. Kev, he sent it to me before the show. So, Kev.
Few people have said there's a little bit of feedback. Yeah, there's a small bit of feedback on Dylan's mic, which we're going to fix. But he's muting himself in between, so that's what we know where it was. There it is. Willie May says, I was sure Shiny would be back tonight after the win. Yeah, hey, there we are. There's the comment. Fair play to you, Willie. And he says, it's like the last day of Rodgers, he says. Different lineup every week. Well, people have lives and they've things to do, and fair play to the lads. They jump on where they can and where they can all the time. So thanks, Willie May. But you've made me night. You made me night by saying I was sure Shiny would be back after that win. You really, really have, genuinely. Emma, just on Wirtz, you know, Dylan is nothing but confident on what he is and what he can be and stuff like that. But, you know, we have to take it with a pinch of salt as to who we're playing today. But what I want to do is, like, I'm gone beyond incorporating this player into the team, because when I look at Liverpool's losses this season, right, I've never put them down to the fact that Wirtz doesn't run. Right, I can put a few defeats, Wednesday night included, into the lack of effort off the ball. You know, and walking back and being structured when we have the ball, being structured against, you know, if we're going to be broken on. But when I look at Wirtz today, I just think to myself, he has to play. And I don't want to say this because people will fucking think you're just getting rid of Salah, but Salah is the main man at Liverpool, and he will be the main man at Liverpool until he leaves Liverpool, simply because he goes down as one of the greatest Liverpool players of all time. Where you rank him, that's up to you, right? No, he's not better than John Barnes, but listen, nobody can be, right? But what I'm saying is, when you look at Florian Wirtz there today, and I don't think it's too much of a stretch to say this, right? You have to start building the team around this fella. Because we can talk engines and we can talk, he's the engine of the team and he drives the team forward and this fella does this. This fella, I think Salah passes the mantle to Wirtz as the man that gets the best out of so many players in this team going forward. And I know it's 70 odd minutes or whatever it is against West Ham, but that's how important I think he's going to be.
Yeah, no, he is, and Dylan's right. Like the amount of disrespect online, and that's all. I suppose that's just all tribalism. If he was playing for Manchester United, he'd be getting a lot more stick. I think he's been really, really good. Like we've said loads of times, there's people not finishing off his chances, and I think what having Wirtz in there does is it gives players an awful lot of confidence that he's not really going to turn over possession. He very rarely turns over possession. He's very good at holding on to the ball. And when he makes a pass, the pass normally finds where it's going to. What we've been guilty of over the last few defeats is we've been turning over possession really cheaply, and he just doesn't do that. He was popping up on the right, popping up on the left today. Like, I don't want to compare him to Coutinho, but when Coutinho came in, and it's right what Dylan said there, Coutinho was very light. He was only tiny. He only looked about 12. Wirtz isn't the tallest bloke in the world, but if he does toughen up a bit, he has the capability of being what Coutinho turned into for Liverpool. And you're right, like Coutinho turned into that provider. He just knitted everything together. And it was never anything too flashy. I know he has these flashy moments, yeah. Coutinho, but it was just give it and go, pass it and move it on, pass it. And that's what Wirtz gives you. And there's a confidence that gives to the team that this, if I give it to him, I'm probably going to get it back, or he's going to give it to someone else, and then I'm going to get it back. And you saw us that we tended to move the ball a little bit quicker today as well with Wirtz in the team.
Yeah, that's what I think he demands.
Yeah, yeah. Look, he's going to be fantastic when he gets to the pace of the Premier League and the physicality of the Premier League. I think nobody's going to be talking about his price tag this time next year. Not a hope of it.
No, I just like, you know, when he turns up in games like Real Madrid, he was brilliant away in Frankfurt. He's been good in other games, and he's
outran Szoboszlai.
Yeah,
like,
well, in fairness, Szoboszlai, for me, Szoboszlai looked.
No, I'm not talking about today. In other games, he's outran.
I know that, but you know, I'm never going to say he doesn't run around, right? But my thing is,
but it doesn't look like he does.
No. But
and then he's popping up all over the place.
Yeah, but my thing on it is that when you look at it in a certain way, you think, oh well, are we light through the middle because Wirtz is playing? Are we if Wirtz plays on the left, is Kirk is getting exposed if he plays here? And it's nearly like the issues we have is down to this player defensively. I don't think attacking wise, because I think there was a stat before the international break that he'd created as many chances as anybody else in the Premier League this season. I think it was 21.
In the Champions League, he had created the most chances, and I think he was equal with Grealish in the Premier League.
And Bruno Fernandes, there was 3 of them around there at the time.
It was big chances. I think Fernandes had created the most chances. Wirtz and Grealish were tied at 21 on the most big chances.
Yeah.
I don't know what constitutes a big chance.
Listen, it's probably like XG. Gave the ball to a player 40 yards from goal, and there was only 3 players there.
Something else that you saw today as well. Everybody's going on against Wirtz's assists. Do they call it a hockey assist? it's the person that passes the ball to the person that assists.
I think they used to call it something like a ghost assist, didn't they, as well? There was one where there was,
Um,
I remember
but
that floating around for a while. That was a
slides
trend.
that ball into Gakpo for him
Yeah,
to turn and give it to Isak.
yeah,
That's why he gives, and he's the like I'm not sure whether I said it on a show or whether I said it in a WhatsApp or something. Isak needs a Wirtz playing in the team to play the balls that he wants to get on the end of. I'm not saying that if Wirtz is not playing, he shouldn't play Isak, but I just think to get the best out of Isak, you need someone like a Wirtz that's providing him with those through balls, slide through balls, and play off the shoulder of the defenders, or that pass today to Gakpo that kind of drags everybody towards Gakpo, and then he passes it to Isak. I won't say tap in because it was a fantastic finish.
yeah. We get onto that as well. Sam says pre-assist. Humbly humble says pre-assist. No, wasn't there something where there was like a ghost assist where there was fucking it was definitely something where it was like a ghost assist. I don't even know what it was for. It might have been, I don't know what the fuck it was, but I remember, right? And it definitely happened. Maybe it was something we just made up. Maybe it was actually. It's probably just something we made up and decided to call it, and then we've just forgotten that we've done that. Dylan, just lastly on the Salah Wirtz thing, because you know you can't write off Salah. He is going to go to the AFCON. We're going to miss him for possibly up to a month, but ideally you want both of them in the team. Is there a way to do this?
Yeah, there is. There is. And it
Then.
starts. Oh, well, how long have you got? Let me
As
get my
long as you
whiteboard. Yeah, no, look, there is. I was a little disappointed in McAllister today. Not that he was poor, but I seen him running back and I was like he had a shitey nappy, which is obviously a concern because you don't want them having a shitey nappy.
No.
But I think if you have legs in there with Gravenberch, a more defensive-minded player who can move the ball, I think we'll be fine without Salah being a defensive option. I just want to see goals, to be honest with you. I think this season's going to be a hell of a lot of 4-3s and 5-2s and stuff like that once we start clicking and putting the ball in the net. So I do think you'll see Salah in the team with Wirtz. I wouldn't be opposed to a thing where you see Salah every other game. I think he's getting to that sort of age where, you know, 90 minutes back to back isn't working the way it is with Robertson and the way we've seen with players down the years. And I think if you do that and if he's accepting of that role, you probably might see the best of Salah again, or close to the best of Salah again.
Yeah. Brian O'Halloran says there, it's time to move on. Alisson, Van Dijk, Robbo, Mo were the last remnants of the old team. We're moving on. I think that's a fair point to make. You know, with the players that we brought in and the age profiles that we brought in, yeah, look, we're going to be looking at a year or two for Van Dijk and Salah. Alisson might be the same. Robertson, I think he's out of contract at the end of this season. So yeah, Liverpool are moving on, but it's about moving on and being as a clean a move as you can make. You know what I mean? You don't want it to be. And in fairness, I was about to say you don't want it to nosedive, but fuck me, it's nosedive. But there was signs there today that you know you can get players into the team, but like. At the same time, I'm saying he made a big decision there about Salah. I think an even bigger decision might be if you put Wirtz and Salah in the same team and you go, you know what? If you get him on the right wing and you put enough movement around him, i.e. Wirtz and whoever else, and we make it our intent to, you know, get moving fast on the wing, integrate, you know, fellas just running by the ball just to make moves to free up Wirtz or free up Salah. I think Liverpool could be unbelievable. But at the same time, there's part of me that in the back of my head is thinking, yeah, but then you're definitely having a fella that doesn't want to defend. And I'm not against that because it's worked for us for years. So it's a balancing act, but I think it was so good to see Wirtz on the pitch today.
Have they not played a heap load of games together already this season?
Yeah, they have. But the thing is, when you look at, I think, does Wirtz start away in Frankfurt and Salah comes off the bench? If I remember rightly, Salah misses one and Wirtz plays. They have played, but the thing is, they played together at the start of the season, and Liverpool were winning games, but people were like, "Oh, we're too open, and you know we're giving away too much of the ball, and we're letting teams get on us too fast." And people pointed at Salah and at Wirtz. What I'm saying is that if he can find something where he can make us solid and say to ourselves, "But we're going to get these two in the team," then that's the way it's probably going to go. The argument is that he puts Wirtz in there and he takes one of the midfielders out and he puts Wirtz in as a midfielder, and because he can run around, you know what I mean. And then he says to Salah, "You go on up there and you play in the Wirtz role, you know, behind the striker, maybe something like that." But Kev says, "What exactly does Salah bring to this side now?" Well, Kev, I'm not for a minute saying that Salah isn't. I'm not saying for a second he's in form. Well, many of them are. You know what I mean?
Salah's 2 goals in his last 5 appearances.
Look, what does Alexis McAllister bring to the team right now? Would be my counter question to that. But we're not questioning him being in the team. Do you know what I mean? Players go through this. Do you know what I mean? All players go through this. Then the last one I remember Salah doing was about fucking 5 or 6 years ago when he went 8 games without a goal. But what I'm saying is, it's not like he's not an asset. So what can we find a way of getting the best out of this version of Salah? Because if you can get the best out of this version of Salah, you still have an unbelievable footballer. Jer says go with the same 11 on Wednesday. I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about that in a minute as well. Emmet, Isak. We all felt he would start today because Ekitike comes off with a slight back issue that Slot said after the game on Wednesday. It's not as bad as everyone's making out. He just felt his back a little bit, but we thought Isak could start, and he was lively enough. You know, He gets involved with Gomez down the right, and it's headed back across by Gakpo. He takes a touch. Keeper does really well, just makes himself as big as he can. But he was okay, and I think with us being a bit more fluid and making that pitch a bit bigger and not all being narrow and on top of him, we always thought he'd get chances, and then you know it's a good chance he has in the first half, but that one drops to him. And that's a fucking striker's finish. That's just, I know where that fucking goal is. And I think someone said it, I think it might have been Sky was on earlier. I think it might have been your man that played for Everton, that used to play for Liverpool. I can't remember his name, centre half. What's his name?
Abel Xavier.
No. Why would Abel Xavier be on Sky?
Connor Cody.
Oh, yeah.
Connor Cody said it well. He said he just stunned it into the corner. He came across, he pulls off the defenders real well, because Cody was talking about, you know, when that ball goes down the side of the Gakpo, defenders do naturally drop to find their space and then assess, whereas Isak just pulls off, and when the ball comes in, he just stuns her into the bottom corner. It's a brilliant finish, in fairness.
Yeah, it's quality. I think he probably puts it the only place where the keeper's not going to get to it. It's right in at the foot of the post. But you kind of got to see him open up his legs a little bit today as well. He popped up on the left, made a burst and run down the left. That was good to see, because a lot of people were complaining that he's not moving around or anything. So it was good to see him get involved. He's never going to be Ekitike in terms of dropping in and trying to create. And that he's nearly the antithesis of what Ekitike is. He wants to be going the opposite direction. He wants to run onto stuff. Ekitike wants to drop and get involved in stuff.
Yeah.
But look, it's again, how many like actual minutes has he had? He's stop start. He goes away with. He's been away with Sweden twice since he signed for us. He's not. Then he had a little injury. He's not getting.
He's been away with them.
I think he probably went away with them before he signed.
Yeah. Okay. Twice. Yeah. Fair
and then twice since signed. I think I said last week he didn't play for Sweden in the last international break. I think he played 20 minutes or something. But he's not really got a good run of games. I would have liked to see him be left on today. Now, I get that they're probably still trying to manage his minutes. I would have preferred to see Gakpo come off, because I think Gakpo today, he had a trampoline touch. Everything just seemed to be bouncing off him. Every time the ball broke down and West Ham got back on the ball, seemed to be Gakpo at the scene of the crime. I would have preferred to see maybe Ekitike come on the left and leave Isak on. But what did he get? 67 minutes or 69 minutes or something, was it? So maybe they're still kind of managing that. I do think he played 80 against Crystal Palace, although I think Ekitike wasn't available that day. So I think when he's going to be fine. Again, people are too quick to write him off. Again, it's tribalism. But as long as he scores more than Vultamada this season, I'll be happy. That's all you're looking for. Is Davey T in the chat?
Davey T
I'm
is
sure
there. He's in there.
He'll be letting us know. Look, I think
the chat just resorted now to naming players that play for both Liverpool and Everton.
All right,
And I
okay.
laughed because when I said who was that? What's his name? And you said Abel
I was
Xavier,
happy.
and then Davey T said Gary Able, and I was like, what's going on? But no, they've just gone to naming players that have played for Liverpool and everything.
Yeah.
So there you
No,
go.
but look, Isak is going to be fine. Everybody's seen what type of player he is. He's a player that's coming from a Premier League team into another Premier League team. It's not a player that's coming from if anything, it was Newcastle that took the punt on him, signing him from Sociedad. I think he had scored only 6 goals or something, and they paid 62 million for him or something along those lines. They took the chance. We've seen what he can do, and now it's just about him kind of whatever about. Wirtz is only just beginning to find his feet. Kerkez looks like he's settling in a little bit today. You have to remember that Isak is like 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks behind them in terms of working together as a team. He'll be fine. I still
Yeah.
have him as Liverpool's top goal scorer this season.
Ashley says there, Gakpo had the most touches in the opposition's box with 7, most duels won with 6, most chances created with 3, most fouls won by 2, most goal involvements 2, the first LFC player to score and assist in a Premier League away game this season.
Deadly. Now pull up the stats on how many times he turned over possession. That's the most
I'll
important
get,
one
I'll
for
get
me.
Ashley to do that for you now. I'm sure she can.
He just seemed to break down, and I think everybody in our WhatsApp group would have agreed with that. He just seemed to not be on it today in terms of holding on to the ball. And the issue that we've had over the last few weeks is we're not holding on to the ball. We're not looking after the ball. We're turning over possession too easy. So great that he's done it. Again, just before anybody jumps in, I'm not blaming all of this on Gakpo. I'm just saying he didn't have his best game today.
Yeah. Just says the best thing about Gakpo today is that he tracked back and helped Kerkez. Yeah. You see, my thing with Gakpo was, especially during the week, was he was ignoring Kerkez. And he was clearly seeing Kerkez going beyond him. And then he was coming inside and taking so many touches that when he lost it, he was like, I've lost the ball. And he fucking knows Kerkez is 10 yards closer to their goal than he is. And he's looking going, do I have to run all the way back here now? Well, yeah, you do. Because you're the one that fucking ignored the fullback. You know, instead of, he'd be nearly better off saying to Kerkez when he gets it, just put his hand out and go, don't you go anywhere. I'm going to fucking make a bollocks of this and you need to be behind me. You know, I'd much rather that honesty from him. But yeah, look, he had a mixed game today, I think. But listen, he gets an assist, he gets a goal. You know, he had a weird look off him when he scored, didn't he? He was the real kind of, not defiant, but real kind of, yeah. And you know what? Maybe he just needed that. And listen, we're probably jumping too far ahead, but hopefully it does do something for him. Lifts the confidence. Maybe he's trying a bit too hard on the ball, you know. Whereas it might relax him a little bit, and that's what we hope. Just says neither Kerkez or
It's a little bit too predictable at times. I think it's always he's going to cut inside.
Well, you see, that's one thing I say all the time. Like I'd genuinely rather a winger, right, come inside the first time and put a cross in the box, then come inside him and shoot. Go outside and stand the cross up. Go outside and try drag a ball back. Just do something different the first 4 or 5 times you get the ball, because then your fullback doesn't know what you're doing. But when it gets to Gakpo and Salah at times, they just know what you're going to do. And when you've no movement around you, it's so easy to look after. They've, just push Gakpo inside there and he'll keep coming across the pitch and someone else will come along and take it off him. The fullback doesn't really need to do it. Because I don't
That's why you see so many of their shots blocked all the time.
Yeah, but
Salah coming in from the right and him coming in from the left.
Yeah, but even against PSV on Wednesday, I can't remember an awful lot of time when the PSV fullback took the ball off him. He was just running them into traffic and then he was taking off him, But a bit of variety makes the fullback think, and then it might give you a bit more room and a bit more time to do stuff. But it's Neo Geo. All these names are annoying me now, to be honest. And not that that's your name, it's just all these usernames that aren't right. Some of them are starting to come back properly. It looked like Gakpo was told to look for the pass before shooting. He was moving in to support Isak to allow the outside run from Kerkez. Still didn't pass him though. Yeah, that's true as well. Look, we get the win. Dylan, Arne Slot, I struggled to see where he was going to go after Wednesday night with this. I genuinely did, because the way we were on the ball, the way we were off the ball, the way he done very little on the sideline to change things until it was actually enforced on him. I thought he looked like he just looked like someone that was all at sea. What will that do for him today? Because it's a win, it's a clean sheet. Again, we have to look at the opposition, But they've gone to London. They've gone to an away game. West Ham had a decent result against Bournemouth, I think, last week. What does that do for him? Just to see I can change it. The players are still trying for me. We scored a couple of goals and we've had a clean sheet. Has to be good for him. But is it huge for him, or is it just that's one step you need to build on this massively, especially in the next two?
Yeah, probably the latter. I think we were all in agreement that even speaking to you midweek, I didn't think he'd see Friday as Liverpool manager. I've all along season, the whole of this season said, give him the year. So much controversy gone on, so much change, so much things have happened in the background that he deserves the year, especially considering he won the league last season. I don't think he's out of the woods just yet. I don't think that's the monkey off his back after getting a win today. Look, it's a starting point. All undefeated runs have to start somewhere. I'm more happy he had the bit of bottle to make a change today, because I think I've been his biggest critic for just consistently rolling out the same lads. Now, he's limited with the squad. He's limited what players he has. Fitness has been an issue. He clearly doesn't trust an awful lot of them as well, which is his own doing. The likes of Endo, who won't get a run. Chiesa, who's only thrown in as a wildfire option to try and do something. But I was happy to see change. I thought putting a defender in at right back was a good move. I thought taking Salah out was a good move. I'd be with Emmet. I don't think Gakpo's been very good this season. Be it he's our top goal scorer. He's coming away today with a goal and assist. I think he breaks down a hell of a lot of good things we do. I'd have taken him out as well, only for we don't have the bodies to put him in. But he's not in the clear, but it's a good starting point. It's a good win. If you can keep notching them up, sure, we'll all be saying our prayers again.
Yeah. O'Sheen says we need to build on this Wednesday night. Will be a test because Sunderland are going well in the league and showed some character to beat Bournemouth. We need Anfield bouncing. David T was straight in. He says Mackems are due a hiding Wednesday. Thumbs up, or hopefully. So yeah, he's all over that. What else we got there? Megan is off to Anfield on Wednesday, so hopefully the Reds have turned the corner with a bit of luck. But I listen. You win some, you lose some. I enjoy just going over anyway. On Slot, Emmet, we said at the very start there he makes some decisions, decisions that a lot of people were backing. It was someone in the chat there said he looked a little bit emotional towards the end. It must have been the pressure. Must have been. Ado says looked a bit emotional. Full time pressure was immense today. It takes the pressure off a little bit, Emmet, but it probably heaps it on now because you've won. You've made these changes. Now the pressure's on you. Do you stay? Do you stick or do you twist? Do you win with the same 11? It's a home game now. Sunderland are doing absolutely fine. They're more than fine. They're doing absolutely brilliant. But they're still a promoted side coming to Anfield. And Liverpool should be beating the promoted sides coming to Anfield. With all due respect to Sunderland. But as much as it takes the pressure off him today, and it's kind of, his shoulders can drop a little bit and he can relax tonight and probably look up a few holidays to Ibiza or whatever, for March. You can get on to, Love Holidays or whatever and see what's available for March. But it heaps are on him, doesn't it, as well? Because now go and beat Sunderland, then go and beat Leeds and make big decisions that you've made today. You're gonna have to show what you have on Wednesday now. Do you revert or do you stay as you are?
Yeah, Liverpool manager is always going to be under pressure. It's just a pressurised job, but he's under even more pressure now with the results that we've had over the last while. I really like him. I don't know what's happened. He's gone from one extreme to the other. Like he was the smartest man in the class last year, and now this year he just... Something that worried me there was what Dylan said, is that he's got players that he didn't trust. I think we said that hundreds of times last year. He's gone out. I'm not going to I'm going to say he's gone out and spent X amount of money, and yet he still has a squad of players that he doesn't trust. I think we spoke during the summer when he was making these signings, and we thought this is going to be great. He's going to be able to rotate more often than he was able to rotate last season. Now, take into account some of these injuries. I don't know when Bradley is back. I don't know when Frimpong is back.
Frimpong was training on grass on Friday,
but not with the team. So maybe Oh no,
I'll
maybe he's
probably
in with a shout for a shout for Sunderland, if not Leeds.
yeah.
But I think Frimpong is your ideal player to be like. I think what was really good about Gomez today was he was kind of like nearly getting to the byline and getting crosses in. And I think for the likes of an Isak, that's the way you need to play. If you look at the way Frimpong plays, and he's done it a few times this season with us, he loves doing that as well. And we need to start playing to the strengths of the team. Now, if he's available, I'm probably possibly putting him back in. Not that I'm taking Gomez out because I don't want to play Gomez, but we do also have to have one eye on the two centre backs as well in case anything goes wrong. You might even take a Kanate out and put Gomez in there and maybe play Frimpong at right back because he does need to start managing minutes now as players come back from injury to try and prevent these injuries from reoccurring.
Yeah.
But look, I really like him. I think he's very, very measured in what he says. But I felt a little bit sorry for him over the last while. But at the same time, he kind of nearly made his own bed with some of the stuff that he was saying and some of the it was just there's too many goals on corners. There's that. It just I didn't like the way he was going in his interviews. So I think he just needs to pare it back a little bit now, concentrate on his own team, and look at building on today. We won against Aston Villa. We won against Frankfurt. So again, probably both are better sides than West Ham. So I wouldn't be reading too much in today. And I'm not normally the negative one. I'm not being negative, but today means nothing if you don't go again against Sunderland on Wednesday, and then bounce into Leeds at the weekend. He needs to put a run of games together. I don't think he's out of the firing line at all. Like we said, West Ham were poor today, and even at 1-0, we looked a little bit shaky. Baum possibly puts that chance away another day, and then it's 1-1, and then like does the arse fall out of it, and we revert to type and get nervous. It's like we sat off a little bit. I'm not sure whether it was West Ham picked up the pace or whether we decided we're going to sit off and try and manage this game a little bit. So until they go out and put in a champion's performance, and I'm not going to say that the Liverpool are back, but there's nice green shoots there. But again, like I said, we saw those green shoots against Aston Villa and Frankfurt. So take everything with a pinch of salt. But he needs to put a run of maybe 3, 4, 5 games together where we don't lose a game, for him to be kind of back in the big bed, let's say.
Yeah, O'Shane says Frimpong back for Leeds, but definitely for Inter away. Bradley is out for another month. Brian O'Sullivan put a message in here, and I don't know why he thinks we give a bollocks, but I'll read it out for him anyway. He says, "Good day all round here. Liverpool win, and my local GAA club became under 21A hurling champions today after being told they wouldn't win one match at the start of the championship."
Fuck off, Brian.
Yeah, but it was probably Brian telling him to win one match, and now he's there going, "Oh, the lads are fucking great, aren't they?" I tell you what, one thing stood out for me today from set pieces, because West Ham got quite a few of them. Liverpool looked okay. You know, it wasn't mad scrambles and stuff like that. They looked okay. They looked organised, and again, just do the fucking thing. Just head the fucking thing. Don't be too. And not only that, we didn't look to. You know, when one goes into our box and you're thinking there's 3 players looking to break here. They're just fucking not interested. They're only there for the laugh, and if it breaks, but we seem to be like, no, we'll defend this, and then we'll see where we go from there. That was a big thing for me today. But look.
And West Ham are a big old team as well.
They're a big old unit, yeah. There's they've a fair few big lads in there, all right. Look, they've won the game. We look forward now to the midweek. Sunderland at home, who've been brilliant all season. In fair, I've watched them a good few times. I thought they were unbelievable against Arsenal. Well, I think they get a 1-1 draw, wasn't it, against Arsenal? 2-2 draw. 2-1.
It was a draw. It was a draw anyway.
It was a draw anyway. Your man fucking makes a brilliant block at the end. But what I like about Sunderland is, bar United away, where I thought they were poor. I remember watching the highlights of that. Other than that, they seem to have their way of playing, and they play to their strengths. And the big lads up front, their fullbacks are really good. Xhaka's having a great season for them in midfield. He's just holding it all together for them, and kind of he's the orchestrator of everything for them. It's a good test for Liverpool this week, but you know, I'd love to see a Sunderland team come out confident against us and open up a little bit and see what happens. But Sunderland have any sense, they won't. They'll sit in and go here. These, if it's the Liverpool of what we've seen over recent times, they'll just leave loads of room down the sides and in behind them when they come attacking us. So it'll be interesting to see how we approach it. But it's a good game.
I watched that Sunderland Bournemouth game yesterday.
You loved that, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was a brilliant game. Both of them attacking with purpose every single time they got the ball, and at pace as well. And I'm thinking, why can't we do this? Just get the ball and run at them. Defenders hate when you run at them. They love when you just stand in front of them, passing the ball around in front. But every single attack from Bournemouth, every single attack from Sunderland, it was a real ding dong of a game. Like, it was actually really good watch, I have to say.
Yeah. Davey T says Sunderland, very physical. Ballard and Hume are streetwise. Isidore is a handful as well. But if you score first, I can only see a big win for Liverpool. Hopefully, all right. But he also does say their fans are well balanced. They have a chip on each shoulder. He just fucking hates them, doesn't he? He just hates them. And somebody has explained to us about the YouTube names. What's happened is YouTube have changed it from a name to a handle, which makes them unique. Which, worryingly enough, there looks like Owen Book 6809 means that there's 6,808 other Owen Books hovering around YouTube, which is a bit of a concern. And there's 1,043 other Cal
All of his borders.
So there you go. So you aren't unique. There's fucking loads. But look, it's a good win. It's thank fuck it's a win, because we're getting sick of doing this every fucking week. You're like, yeah, lost again. But we move on to Wednesday. Just in terms of what we're doing over the week, look, we're going to be previewing Sunderland. We're going to be doing reaction to Sunderland. We're going to be doing some reaction extra to this on our Patreon. We're going to be doing our Ref Watch show as well. And then it'll lead us back into the weekend where we will hopefully doing the final 20 of 3 p.m. games.
There you go. Sorry for cutting in. Ashley with the stat of the day. So he lost possession 20 times.
There you go. I knew she'd go and get it for you. The only professional on this channel. And we know that. We openly admit it. You know what I mean? She just fucking finds everything. But yeah, so during the week, we'll have loads of stuff going on, but you know the usual. We're in this routine of fucking Saturday or Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday. It's constant a minute, so we try to get as many shows in as we can. Like, subscribe, and comment if you want. If you want to join us on Patreon, you can. Try it for a month. Loads of people have joined. They enjoy it. We throw a few random shows in there as well. We're going to try to do a few morning shows as well, where we just come on, I have a cup of tea and just chat about whatever you want to chat about, football, whatever you want. There's, like I said, random stuff in there as well. There's also a thing in Patreon, if you're a member or you want to, you can gift people a month's Patreon to watch us, and you can do stuff like that. So if you want to do that, you can as well. But loads of people have joined. They seem to enjoy it. And to be fair, when you're in Patreon, a lot of people are more open and get more involved. Do you know what I mean? Because they know they're in a kind of a bubble where they can feel like they can say more. You know. But that's where it is. So if you want to, what are you laughing at?
The random shows are off the fucking chain. Like,
oh yeah, the random shows are bananas.
There's some stuff I've said in there that I would never say on this. Can I just ask, if I gift someone a month, do they get into the Telegram, or do they have to sign up themselves for a month?
Yeah, they can get into the Telegram, yeah. So what I do is on a monthly basis. So sorry, for people that don't know, we have a Telegram group, a general one, then we have a members one, right? So the members one is usually, it is the people in Patreon. So if you sign up and you're in Patreon and you email us and you say, I'm in Patreon, there's my email address, we just check that and go, cool, there's a link to what's that thing called again? Telegram. And you go in there. On a monthly basis, I'll scroll through them and go, right, who's in there? Is there anybody that's gone off Patreon? And we just remove you if you're out of the Telegram. And that's how it works. So I do it not every month, probably every 2 months. I have a quick look and go, right, what little bollocks now are hanging around in here and you haven't paid that Patreon. But no, that's good as well. The Telegram's good. It's bananas as well. It's all sorts going on in there. So if you join Patreon, you get into our Telegram members group as well. So there you go. Right. Let me see. Oh God, he's laughing again. What? Come on.
Ashley, your little blue pills explain a lot about the church, Emmet.
Yes. Yeah. We're not saying any more than that. Sign up to Patreon to find out about Emma's little blue pills and going to mass.
Unique blue pills.
So there you Glenn Boylan says Talkin Kop and Kop TV, best Liverpool channels out there. I have to say, he's one of the nicest people you come across, is Alex from the Kop TV. He's just so genuinely nice. Anytime I go over to Liverpool, I make sure to see him, whether that's for a point or see him after a game and stuff like that, and he's always welcoming. And listen, if you're ever over at Anfield and you want to join him after the game, he just be beside the Park Pub. Go over, tell him you watch the Talkin Kop, tell him you watch the Kop TV, tell him you know us and you want to jump on. He'll let you on the fan cams afterwards. He's such a fucking nice fella, and he deserves. He's really good at what he does, and he's flying at the minute, and he deserves every single bit of it. And I mean that, every single bit of it. He's such a nice fella. Let me see, Emma. Anything else before we go?
No, all good. Roll on Wednesday. Another 3 points. Keep the ball rolling.
Okay. Nothing happening. Nothing. No, nothing.
Me? No. I
You're
think the
growing your
dogs
hair
have been
back.
very good. I am growing my hair back.
Yeah, you look
I wish
fantastic.
I'd ever hurry up. Want to get it back for Christmas.
No,
you
but
know?
the bits there on the right and left, they don't grow back, Emma.
No, the wing backs are fully in advance there.
Yeah, they're inverted now at this stage, but they need to play
No,
in the vert position.
That's
No,
Kirk has a ping pong.
Kirk has a fruit bog to that far forward. Anyway, best of luck for Emma when it's growing his hair. Dylan, anything else before we go?
Nah, nothing for me.
Nothing at all.
Boring.
Jesus Christ.
Alright.
Did you not see what Brian said about your hair there a minute ago, no?
Don't be listening to that fella.
Don't be minding him. Sure, he shouldn't be up this late. It's way past his bedtime.
He's trying to rest the show himself.
Yeah, so there you go. A few people have mentioned the Angelus. If people don't know what the Angelus is, you need to go to YouTube, type in the Angelus, and just watch it. Just watch it. It's evolved over the years into still one of the funniest things I've ever seen. But of course, there is a minute of bells chiming at 6 p.m. So we can all, I don't know, praise God or fucking do something like that. Sausage of the week, Carragher going after Slot, says Jer. I don't really want to talk about him, to be honest with you.
Sausage of the week has to be Paqueta. Not for just not telling us he wants to the episode. He had to give us that tip. We could have had a few bob on it for Christmas.
What's he at?
He's getting his family a few quid for Christmas. That's what it is.
Come here. Did I not read with the bets that they were putting on? They were putting on $1 and
hold on. Are we serious here when we say there's a surge in bets for Paqueta to be sent off?
No. I think Kev and all were saying earlier on that it 100% has to be investigated. 100%.
This sending off.
100%. You've never seen someone so fucking brain dead, and then to come out and with the statement, I wasn't supported for the last 2 years, and Kev hit the nail on the head. You probably earn about 100 grand a week, right? Bring fucking better help or whatever it is. They probably charge you about 60, 70 quid a month. I don't know whether we're looking for sponsorship off them, but every fucking podcast on Spotify seems to be looking for better help or whatever.
Well, we did try our best with them.
Well,
we tried our best to get rid of what was that NordVPN? They just kept coming back. We're like, that's, you know what I mean?
Alan Lawson.
Yeah. No, never again.
But yeah, go out and pay for help. Do you know what I mean? I didn't get any backing and all this kind of stuff. Stop.
No, you see, my thing on this is that I don't even think he's involved in the action when he doesn't commit the foul.
I know he's given an initial yellow for.
What I'm saying is, I'd understand if the player that fouled. I don't think he fouled Szoboszlai. He doesn't he not? But the thing is, I'd understand if the player that fouled Szoboszlai, right? Say he got booked for constant fouls, right? And he get booked and he goes, this is all the bollocks, and went off and the ref went, bang, red card, and you're going to go, fuck, you know what I mean? But he makes his way over to start. And then Curtis Jones tries to stop him, going, listen, mate, leave it. You're going to get yourself.
Allison was holding him back at one stage as well.
Liverpool players are holding him back.
The West Ham squad had money on it.
This is how bad it got, right? Liverpool are in the worst run they've ever had in about 80 years, right? And Liverpool need to win this game. It's 1-0, right? Liverpool are under pressure. And Liverpool players are trying to keep this player on the pitch. That's how fucking mad it was. And then you can see Curtis Jones going, just stop. Do you know what I mean? And he keeps going, but he must. The funny thing is, he's at his least animated when the ref gives it to him, so he must have said something. He must have called him a cunt or something. He must have said, it's not like just constantly giving out. He had to have said something directly to the ref and called
Watch
him
it back. Watch it back. That West Ham squad 100% had money on it. The referee says to Jared Bowen, "You're the captain. Have a word with him." And Jared Bowen says, "No." And walks off.
Red Steve says there, Paqueta is Portuguese for Paddy Power.
It was fucking mad. Like, I couldn't believe what I was watching. And the funny thing was, wherever way, you know the way they show the yellow, and then you see him still going. And when I seen him being given the second, I thought, is this a replay? What the fuck is going on here? And then I was like, no, he's whipped out the red now. And I was like, honestly, he's got a red, 2 yellow cards for nothing to do with him. Absolutely nothing to do with him. He's not involved in the foul. He's nowhere near. He just arrives on the scene and decides, I'm going to keep going here now until I get sent off. Like your players, your own players must be like, this is bollocks.
Like you can't be that brain dead to not realise what was going to happen.
But like Dylan says, why didn't one of his players just grab him and pull him away and go, listen, get
That's
away
the Christmas party paid for. What are you talking about? That's a jolly up. There was a text going around in the West Ham WhatsApp
and the
group.
winner of the Christmas hamper is who had Paqueta in minute 78.
Somebody said earlier on, if he gets a long ban, he gets Christmas off or something, like, do you know what I mean?
So, the old Neymar.
Yeah, his sister's birthday.
Yeah, but there was somebody, wasn't there a player in the Premier League that constantly got banned over Christmas as well? I'm sure that I read that last year. There was a player that has been suspended for Boxing Day football for 5 years in a row. Like, you know what I mean? Makes it
loves a Christmas dinner.
I haven't got actually do us a favour. Will you get us up his comment on Twitter or wherever?
Oh, it's shocking. It is shocking.
Yeah, we'll just get it up, and if you can get that up on the screen, I'll read it out. Davey T says, all in the day, Billy Bonds passed away as well.
Yeah,
of course, he's a West Ham legend. Look, you know,
got him promoted, didn't he? Got him promoted from the
player manager. Yeah, he done so much at West Ham. And it's a sad day for West Ham, in fairness, because he is one of those, absolute legends at West Ham. So we have to give that, a mention. I don't have. If anyone has the comment, if you have it, to read it out.
I got it in the WhatsApp earlier on somewhere. So hang on,
yeah, I'm sure Ashley can find it in milliseconds and get it back to us. But yeah, I just couldn't get over what he was doing. I have to watch it back now for Jared Bowen going, no, he's made his bed. Fuck him. You know what I mean? It's really like Jared Bowen fell out with him during the week. I went, no, fuck you now.
They'll all be in Temple Bar in a week and a half time. All dressed up as
not giving a bollocks that it's 11 quid a pint. They're like, don't worry about it.
Cheers for that, Lucas.
Yeah. So, but the only thing is, Brian O'Halloran says deliberately got booked so he could spend Christmas at home. He's not getting 3 games for that.
That's his second. He's only back from suspension. That was his first game back today, I believe.
Nah.
Maybe I'm wrong, but they said that he's
only back. I think his last suspension was 5 yellows. It might have been 5 yellows, I think.
I understand that now I have to come across as the villain. It's hard to live with everything that was caused in my life and in my psyche. I keep trying to ensure they don't affect me even more. This doesn't justify my expulsion, and that's why I apologise for the fans and my teammates. But there was something else, wasn't there, where he was going on about.
That's not the full quote.
Yeah, that's not the whole lot. But anyway, you get a 1-game suspension, so he's not getting Christmas off. But I tell you, if Paqueta manages to get Christmas off at West Ham, right, fair fucks them. Right, because if he can wedge another suspension timed perfectly between being sent off on the 30th of November, being suspended for a game, which will be the 6th probably of December, and getting out of the 26th, 27th, I'm you know what? It's
there you go. Look, there's the rest of it. Perhaps this ridiculous behaviour is just a reflection of everything I've had to endure, and it seems have to continue enduring. I'm sorry, I am not perfect.
Brian O'Halloran says, "No, Gav, read the previous message. I knew someone who did that back in 06-07. What's the previous message? Oh, Brian, you're killing me now.
Yeah, Paqueta has 7 yellows and a red in 12 Premier League games. Don't tell me the West Ham squad aren't in on this.
Brian O'Hanlon said it was an Irish player. Oh, Brian's killing me now because I don't know who he's talking about. Let me see. I
It's
know of
probably
someone who.
Paul
Oh,
McGrath,
hold
wasn't
on. Brian O'Hanlon says I know of someone who did that on purpose, 17 or 18 years ago, which would
Richard
have been
Dunn.
2008.
Richard
Right.
Dunn.
Oh, it's not McGrath.
Richard Dunn just got sent off for the crack.
And
Paqueta
he
was
said then
suspended for the
his line.
26th of December game in 2024 as well as his own book. And Brian says he didn't want to spend Boxing Day in England.
Oh, I probably know. Is it Stephen Ireland?
Dunno.
Something Stephen Ireland to do, isn't it?
I don't know. So there you go. If anyone can work that out, email Brian O'Halloran 4059@gmail.com.
Didn't want to spend Boxing Day in England.
There you go.
Stephen Ireland, it is.
Well, Brian O'Sullivan says it's Stephen Ireland.
Oh,
Brian
sorry.
O'Halloran isn't saying who it is.
It's the Bryans.
Anyway, all the Bryans. It's Brian O'Sullivan 4531 reckons it's Stephen Ireland, but Brian O'Halloran 4059 is saying he's not giving away the secrets today.
Brian O'Sullivan's still trying to guess the players who played for Liverpool and Everton there. Don't mind him.
Right, we're gonna go. We've done enough. That has been the Sunday Night Cop. Thanks a million to Emma. Thanks a million to Dylan. Thanks everyone for watching. Like, subscribe, comment. Check out the Patreon if you want. We will be back tomorrow doing reaction extra to West Ham and Liverpool on Patreon, watching some highlights along the way, and loads to come during the week. So we will be across our social media letting you know what shows there will be. Yeah, that's it. Liverpool won a game, and we're not even messing. Liverpool won a game. Talk to you in a bit. Over and out.